So 2 years ago, my husband Sam, 34 years old, and I, 35 years old, lived with my parents for a year while looking for a house. Meanwhile, Sam's sister Lucy, 47 years old, moved to our country for a job. The plan was for her husband Tom, 51 years old, and son to stay in their home country until Lucy found a house. Lucy, Sam, and I hung out a lot. Every time we'd ask, "Hey, how's the house hunting?" And Lucy would say, "I'm working 12 hours a day. I don't have time to look. I'm still living in Airbnbs. Do you need help?" "Oh no, I'm fine. Over the next few weeks, we helped Lucy download house hunting apps and took her to open houses. But she made 0 offers. By then, I suspected Lucy was hoping we'd offer to let her stay with us until she found a house. But it wasn't my house and my parents weren't offering. 3 months passed and Lucy started saying, "I have to make sure I keep booking this Airbnb on time or I'll end up sleeping in my car." It was winter, so I said, "This isn't our house, so I can't let you live here. But if it comes to staying in your car, I bet we can figure something out for a night." "Oh no, I'm fine. A couple weeks later, Lucy called Sam to say that she was staying in a hotel. "Much better than living in my car. Did I mention I've been living in my car?" No. At this point, Lucy was laughing about the whole thing, so Sam laughed too and shrugged the whole thing off. Then 2 more weeks later, Sam got a text from Tom. "I can't believe you're making your sister live in her car. In January, you are a human piece of shoot." Turns out Lucy had gone back to sleeping in her car, and she'd told Tom that we'd refuse to let her stay with us, in a house that isn't ours, forcing her to live in her car. I was livid. Never once had she told us she was going to be homeless. Never once had she actually asked for help. And now she was bad-mouthing us to Tom, who was bad-mouthing us to the rest of the family. Everything blew up. This is a tight-knit family, so around 10 people got involved. Lots of accusations, yelling, and harsh texts. I stayed out of it because it's Sam's family, not mine, and I was too furious to be reasonable. Eventually, Sam and Lucy talked it out, and we re-entered a state of peace. This was 2 years ago, and no one's mentioned it since. But here's where I might be the jerk. A week ago, Lucy, Sam, and I were laughing about something dumb I said to a friend. I was like, "It's a miracle he and I are still friends." And Lucy said, "At least you didn't make him live in his car. That would really unalive things." She laughed, I think to try and break the ice on that memory. But in 2 years, she and Tom never apologized for lying about us and calling Sam a piece of shoot. So I just said, "You were in your 40s, Lucy. You could have gotten a damn apartment." Now we live in awkward land again. Am I the jerk? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. She moved for a job. She could have gotten an apartment. She decided to live in her car. Her husband could have found her an apartment instead of blaming you. If she was keen for her husband and son to live with her, she should have been moving a lot faster. I would be low contact at this stage. Too much drama and unhinged expectation. Awkward land provides excellent conditions for low contact. Remain in it until she sees the light. Comment 2. I really don't understand what you mean by break the ice about the topic. The whole situation hasn't been settled to have a laugh about yet. You've just let it simmer in the background for 2 years. Added on to the fact that the words she used do not take any responsibility for her actions and place the blame squarely on you. Not the idiot. But I suggest you think about this from a different perspective. Now for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a wild couple of weeks since my last post. Thanks for all your support and advice. I really appreciate it. So after that awkward moment with Lucy, things got even more complicated. Sam and I decided to have a heart-to-heart with her, hoping to clear the air once and for all. We invited her over for dinner, and at first everything seemed to be going well. We reminisced about old times and shared some laughs. But then Sam brought up the car incident, and the atmosphere changed instantly. Lucy got defensive, insisting that she had been in a tough spot and that we should have been more understanding. She even accused us of being selfish for not offering her a place to stay, conveniently forgetting that we were living with my parents at the time. The conversation quickly escalated into a heated argument, with both sides throwing accusations and rehashing old wounds. In the midst of all this, Lucy dropped a shocker. She revealed that the reason she had been so desperate for a place to stay was that she had been fired from her job just a week after arriving in the country. Apparently, she had gotten into a major conflict with her boss and had been let go on the spot. She hadn't told anyone, not even Tom, because she was too ashamed and didn't want to admit defeat. This revelation caught us completely off guard. Suddenly, her behavior during that time made a lot more sense. She had been under immense pressure, trying to find a new job and a place to live in a foreign country, all while keeping up appearances for her family back home. It was a lot to handle, and I could understand why she had lashed out at us in her moment of desperation. But here's the thing, even with this new information, I still couldn't fully forgive her for the way she had treated us. The lies, the manipulation, the name-calling, it had all taken a toll on our relationship. I realized that there were deeper issues at play here, ones that went beyond just this one incident. As the argument continued, old resentments and unresolved conflicts came bubbling to the surface. Lucy brought up how Sam had always been the golden child in the family, how he could do no wrong in their parents' eyes. Sam countered by accusing Lucy of being jealous and always trying to undermine him. It was a mess of emotions and long-buried grudges, and I could see that this was going to take more than one conversation to sort out. In the end, we agreed to take some time apart to cool off and reflect on everything that had been said. Lucy left our house in tears, and Sam and I were left reeling from the intensity of it all. We knew that we couldn't just sweep this under the rug and pretend like everything was fine. We needed to find a way to move forward, but it wasn't going to be easy. Over the next few days, Sam and I had some long, difficult conversations about his family dynamics and our own relationship. We realized that we had been holding on to a lot of unspoken resentments and fears, and that we needed to work on our communication and trust. It was a painful process, but it also brought us closer together in a way that we hadn't experienced before. Meanwhile, Lucy reached out to apologize for her behavior and to ask for a chance to make things right. She had started seeing a therapist and was working on her own issues, including her tendency to lash out when she felt threatened or insecure. It was a small step, but it gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, we could find a way to repair our fractured relationship. As I write this, I'm still not sure what the future holds for our family. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's going to take time and patience to rebuild the trust that was broken. But I'm hopeful that we can find a way forward, one step at a time. Thanks for reading, everyone. It means a lot to have your support during this crazy time. Am I the idiot for keeping my book's title secret from my family because my brother used to mock my diary? Throwaway for obvious reasons. I, 32, female, wrote a book during Infection 19 that ultimately got published and is doing okay. Nothing life-changing monetarily. I won't be quitting my day job, but it's something I'm proud of that I never thought I'd accomplish. I published the book under a pen name. My fiance, his mom, and my best friend have all read the book with my permission, but no one else knows it's my work. My family, parents, and older brother know that I published a book, but I have not shared the title or my pen name with them. They've pushed for the information, but I told them I want to keep it a secret in case I want to write more books under that name. I told them I want to be able to write without thinking, what will mom think when she reads XYZ? They never truly accepted this, and it comes up at every family event. Recently we were together for dinner, and the topic came up again. I wasn't in the best mood, and we'd all had a couple drinks, and my brother had been acting like an butt because his wife wasn't there to rein him in. I admitted that the real reason why I wouldn't let them read my book was because when I first tried keeping a diary when I was 6 or 7, my brother, then 9 or 10, would search my room for my diary, find it, and read it. He would mock me for what I'd written. If his name was mentioned, he would get a black marker and scribble it out. When I went to my parents in tears, they told me it was my fault for writing about him, and he had a right to read it. They did buy me one of those diaries with a lock for Christmas that year, but then he'd just pick the lock, or I'd catch him prying the book open, and he'd never even get reprimanded. I was treated like a nuisance and a tattletale for bringing it to their attention because he was their precious firstborn prince. He would be emboldened and would continue to torment me. I stopped keeping diaries because it wasn't worth giving him ammunition. They blew up when I revealed this and told me I was being a baby and needed to get over it. And it never even was a big deal. I told them that it basically gave me a complex where I'm overly protective of my writing, and I have a hard time sharing it because I feel like I'm going to be mocked and ridiculed for it. They told me I was being so dramatic and that I always do this. Am I the idiot for refusing to share my pen name with them? Edit to add, thank you for the kind comments. Some people have asked for the title of my book, but I really don't feel comfortable doing so, especially since this has gotten way more attention than I anticipated. I appreciate the love and support. 3. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. First, congratulations on getting a book published. It's one of my dreams to get it done. I was going to write young teenager because I feel like you could share at least the book name so they can read it. Then I read the rest of the story, and it's certainly not the idiot, unlike your brother at the time and your parents now. They are AH for sure. Comment 2. Not the idiot. They told me I was being so dramatic and that I always do this. If you think I always do this, it's because you always react like this. Your family has shown a consistent disrespect towards you and your writing. Do not give them your pen name. You'll be happier keeping it from them. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks so much for reading my last post and for all the kind words and support. It really means a lot to me. It's been a week since that disastrous family dinner, and things have only gotten worse. The day after, my mom called me, furious. She said that I had embarrassed the family by bringing up ancient history and that I needed to apologize to my brother for making him look bad. I tried to explain that I was just being honest about my feelings, but she wouldn't listen. She hung up on me and we haven't spoken since. My brother, on the other hand, has been blowing up my phone with angry texts. He says that I'm a liar and that he never did any of the things I accused him of. He even went so far as to say that I probably made up the whole diary story for attention. It's like he's completely rewritten history in his own mind. I was so upset by all of this that I ended up calling my fiancé in tears. He was furious on my behalf and wanted to confront my family, but I begged him not to. I didn't want to make things even worse. Instead, he suggested that we take a little trip to get away from all the drama. We ended up going to a cute bed and breakfast in the mountains for a few days, and it was exactly what I needed. While we were there, I started thinking about my childhood and all the ways that my family had let me down over the years. It wasn't just the diary incident. There were so many times when they had dismissed my feelings or taken my brother's side over mine. I realized that I had been carrying around a lot of resentment and hurt for a long time. One night, after a few glasses of wine, I ended up telling my fiancé everything. I told him about how my parents had always favored my brother and how they had never really supported my writing. I even told him about a time when I was in high school and had won a writing contest, but my parents had been too busy to come to the award ceremony. My fiancé listened patiently and held me while I cried. When we got back from our trip, I had a decision to make. My mom had left me a voicemail saying that she wanted to talk and work things out, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to forgive and forget. I knew that if I wanted to have a relationship with my family, I would have to find a way to move past all the hurt and anger. But I also knew that I deserved to be treated with respect and that I shouldn't have to apologize for standing up for myself. In the end, I decided to send my mom a text. I told her that I loved her and that I wanted to have a good relationship with her, but that I needed some time and space to heal. I said that I hoped we could talk things out eventually, but that I wasn't ready yet. It was a hard decision, but I knew it was the right one for me. As for my brother, I haven't spoken to him since that night. I don't know if I ever will, but I do know that I'm done letting him and my parents dictate how I feel about myself and my writing. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and I won't let anyone take that away from me. Anyway, that's where things stand now. It's been a tough week, but I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever. Thanks again for all your support and encouragement. It really means the world to me. Am I the idiot for doubting my sister's decision to raise her baby with her trans girlfriend? My sister is 23 years old, and she moved in with us for college. She moved out after she graduated. Edit. She has a job in her own place. 2 weeks ago, she visited us and she told us that she is pregnant. We didn't even know she was seeing someone. She has practically moved in with us and she wants to keep the child, and I told her I would support her. It was not planned at all, and she said there was almost zero chance she would get pregnant. I have been helping her plan for her life now. I told her that I would help her with money, but it was going to be very tough to raise her kid on her own. A week ago, I asked her if she was informing the father of the child, and she brushed it away and said the child has no father. I thought it was probably a guy she didn't want in her child's life. And from what she had talked about him, it seems that is not the case, and she clearly likes him and thinks highly of him. She keeps asking me if it is the right thing to do, and I honestly don't know. I have never met this guy, and she thinks highly of him, but also doesn't want the guy around. I don't want to prod, but she keeps changing her mind. I had a very stressful day yesterday, and she kept asking me about this, and I sort of snapped at her and told her that she was going to be a mother, and she needed to do what was best for the child and not for the parents, and she shouldn't be deciding based on what is comfortable for her or the father. She started to cry and was silent for a while. She then said she really needed my help and begged me to not stop helping her, and I said I wouldn't abandon her. My husband thinks I was overly harsh on a 23-year-old freaking out about major life changes, and I should have taken a softer approach. She has not really talked to me since then and has been avoiding any attempt at small talk. The reason I feel like a jerk was mostly the way she talked to me. The tone she used is seared into my brain when she told me she needed my support. Edit. I talked to her last night and we cleared things up. It seems she has been dating a trans woman. She has informed her partner and they are going to raise the child together. I don't get it, but this feels like a much better outcome than her raising a married guy's kid on her own. Our parents will freak out when they learn about this, but that is for another. She told me she expected me to react badly to this, and that is why she was freaking out. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. If she had her own place and a job, why is she moving in with you? I'd ask her point blank who the child's father is. He needs to pay child support as the child deserves it. She adores the father. Could you also know him? Potentially, you're married to him. Comment 2. Info. Is she thinking of not informing the man about his child? Because that makes her an AH in multiple ways. To her child, to the child's father, and to you because you're apparently footing the bill. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post and for all your support. It's been a busy few days since I last updated you all. So after my sister and I had that heart-to-heart, things started to look up. She finally opened up to me about her partner, and it turns out she's been dating a trans woman. I'll admit, I was a bit surprised at first, but I quickly realized that what matters most is that they love each other and want to raise this child together. The next day, my sister invited her partner over to meet us. I could tell she was nervous, but I did my best to make them both feel welcome. We had a long chat, and I got to know her partner a bit better. She seems like a genuinely kind and caring person, and it's clear that she's head over heels for my sister. As we talked more, my sister revealed that part of the reason she had been so hesitant to tell us about her partner was because of our parents. Apparently, they've made some pretty insensitive comments about the queer plus community in the past, and my sister was worried about how they'd react to her news. I reassured her that no matter what, I'd be there to support her and stand up for her if needed. We spent the rest of the day discussing how to break the news to our parents and planning for the future. The following day, my sister decided it was time to tell our parents. She invited them over for dinner, and I could tell she was a bundle of nerves. I gave her a big hug before they arrived and reminded her that I was there for her. Dinner started off a bit awkwardly, with everyone making small talk and avoiding the elephant in the room. Finally, my sister took a deep breath and told them everything about her pregnancy, her partner, and their plans to raise a child together. At first, there was a stunned silence. Then our dad started asking a bunch of questions, some of which were pretty insensitive. I could see my sister getting more and more upset, so I stepped in and told him to back off. Our mom, on the other hand, surprised us all by getting up and giving my sister a big hug. She told her that while it might take some time for them to fully understand and adjust, they loved her no matter what and would support her decisions. I could see the relief wash over my sister's face, and I felt a weight lift off my own shoulders. We spent the rest of the evening talking things through, and while there were still some tense moments and misunderstandings, overall it went much better than I had expected. Looking back, I realized that my initial harsh reaction to my sister's situation came from a place of love and concern. I was worried about her taking on such a huge responsibility alone, and I let that fear come out in a way that wasn't entirely fair to her. But through all of this, I've learned that the most important thing I can do is listen to my sister, support her choices, and be there for her no matter what. It's not always easy, and I know there will be challenges ahead, but I'm committed to being the best aunt I can be to this little one. Thanks again for all your advice and kind words. It means a lot to know that there are people out there who understand and care. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.